Hello, welcome to today's lesson on traditional multiplication, a continuation of yesterday's work. Our learning target today is I can use the traditional method to multiply two-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. So, step one, we're going to estimate the product. In step two, we're going to multiply the digit in the ones place in the bottom number by the digit in the top number, beginning each digit in the top number, beginning in the ones place and moving left. And in step three, we're going to multiply the digit in the tens place in the bottom number by each digit in the top number, starting with the ones place and moving left. Then in step four, we're going to add the two answer lines together. And in our final step, we'll compare our product to our estimate to make sure our answer is reasonable. Let's get started. So here we have a problem 82 times 34. If we recall step one, same as yesterday, we're going to estimate to make sure we're in the ballpark when we get an answer. So 82, let's see, that rounds to 80. And 34, yeah, I think you're right, rounds to 30. So now we have 80 times 30. I'm going to think, let's see, 8 times 3, that's 24. And 1, 2 zeros is 2,400. So when we're done multiplying these two numbers together, we should get a product that's in the neighborhood of 2,400. All right, so let's go ahead and do step one. Step one is to copy the problem down. When we write this problem and set up a multiplication problem using the traditional method, we stack up our numbers, lining up the place values. So 82, the larger the two numbers, will go on top, and 34 will go on the bottom. Now I'm going to color code this for teaching's sake. Okay, so I'm going to make the 3 in yellow here. And I'm going to make the 4 in red. But notice that I have lined up my place values. So the 2 and the 4 are both in the ones place, and they line up. And the 8 and the 3 are both in the tens place, and they line up. So we'll finish setting this problem up by adding our multiplication symbol and our equal sign, and we're ready to begin. Now, when we multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number using the traditional method, the first step is actually identical to yesterday. Okay, we're going to start with the bottom number in the ones place, in this case the 4, and multiply it by each digit in the top number, starting with the ones place, which is the 2 in this case, and then moving left. So let's do that. 2 times 4, let's see, I'll do this in red. 2 times 4, yeah, that's 8. And 4 times 8, that's right, that is 32. So we're done with step one. How about that? The first part of this multiplying. Now, in yellow here comes the new part. Are you ready for all the new stuff? Now we got to move over and multiply the second digit in the bottom number by each of the digits in the top number, following the same pattern. Okay, we're going to start by multiplying the 3 times the digit in the ones place, and then we'll multiply it by the digit in the tens place. And the only other thing you have to remember, and this is an every time rule, no exceptions, is we are going to start our second answer line, which is where we're going to put this work, down here, just underneath our first answer line, and we're always going to put a 0 in the ones place, okay? Because this 3 actually isn't a 3. It's in the tens place. Its value is 30, isn't it? So this is like 30 times 2 and 30 times 80. And so we want to recognize that by holding the ones place with a 0, which shifts everything to the left, which in our place value system we understand to mean everything gets 10 times bigger because we're multiplying by a number in the tens place. So let's go ahead and just do that. So we have 3 times 2, that's 6. We'll put that in the next answer space over to the left. And we have 3 times 8, that's 24. And we'll put those digits in the answer spaces to the left. So now we have two answer lines. We have on the first answer line, 328. And on the second answer line, 2,460. And notice, we're using a grid on purpose because it helps us line up all the digits in the ones place. All the digits in the tens place are lined up. All the digits in the hundreds place are lined up. If there was more than one digit, we'd have lined up those two in the thousands place. Now, final step. Let's add these two answer lines together and get our final product. All right, so 8 plus 0, that's 8. 2 plus 6, that's 8. 3 plus 4, that's 7. And 2 plus nothing, that is just 2. So our final product is 2,788. And is that in the ballpark of 2,400? Yep, sure is. So we're probably correct. We did it. We can move on to the next problem. Let's try another one together. All right. Step 1. You remember what step 1 is? That's right. We have to estimate. All right. Let's round 76 to 80. And let's round 48 to, say, 50. That looks good, huh? And now we'll solve this extended multiplication effect in order to estimate 8 times 5. That is 40. And then we count up our zeros. We have 1 0, 2 total zeros in the factors, 2 total more zeros in the product. We have 4,000. When we're done multiplying these two numbers together, we should get a product that's in the ballpark of 4,000. So let's go on to the next step. We're going to copy these numbers down. 76 on top. It's the first number, but it's also the biggest number, and that's important. Generally, we like to put the bigger number on top, even though we don't technically have to. You could put the bigger number on the bottom, but conventionally, we always put it on top. All right, and then I'm going to change colors so we can keep the same pattern and color coding here. I'm going to put the digit in the tens place, the 4 in yellow, and the digit in the ones place, the 8 in the ones place. They're in red. All right, so let's go ahead and finish off setting this problem up by adding our multiplication symbol and our equal sign. And now we can start. All right, first step, just like we learned yesterday in the previous lesson about multiplying by one-digit numbers, we're going to start in the ones place with the 8. We're going to multiply it by the 6, the top number in the ones place, and the top digit in the tens place next, the 7. So 8 times 6, well, let's see. What is 8 times 6? Let's actually go over here to the multiplication chart, because I don't know what 8 times 6 is. So I'm going to go down to 8, and I'm going to go over to 6. I'm going to bring my fingers together, and where they meet, 48, that's the product. And that I can use. So with the 8 here in the ones place, we'll carry the 4 into the tens place, because that's where it belongs. And we'll continue to multiply. Now we do 8 times 7. I don't know 8 times 7 either. So back to my multiplication chart. I'll go down to 8 and over to 7. See 7 there? And where those two meet, that's our product, 56. So, but I got to add the 4 that I carry, don't I? I got to add this 4. So 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. So we'll write 60 here on our first answer line. Now to the second answer line. Do you remember what we do first before we start multiplying in the second answer line? Yep, you got it. We got to hold the ones place with 0, always, because everything's 10 times bigger, because this 4 is actually in the tens place, which means it's a 40. All right, so let's multiply. 4 times 6, start over here in the ones place again. Now, 24. We got the 4. We're going to carry the 2, but before I do that, I want to cross out the number I carried earlier, because I don't want to get confused by which number I'm carrying and which number I'm adding. I put the 2 directly above it. So now I know I'm just working with the 2 and the 4 has been used up. So now I do 4 times 7, the top number in the tens place, get 28, 29, 30. And I'll write that product down there, put in my comma, and now for the final step in multiplying, traditionally, add up our 2 answer lines. Are you ready? 8 plus 0, you got it, 8. 0 plus 4, that's not too bad, 4. Oh, 6 plus 0, wait a second, this is not bad at all. 6, and 3 plus 0, there's nothing there. That's just 3. So our final product is 3,648. Is that in the ballpark of 4,000? Are we about correct? I think we are. They are in the ballpark, so we can be assured that we are very close, if not correct. All right, in this last example, you're going to really help me out, okay? So what is step 1 here? What do we have to do first? I'll tell you that. We have to estimate, don't we? How would you estimate? All right, I'll meet you on the other side of this problem with how you think you should estimate this multiplication problem. Okay, welcome back. Did you say 60 times 100? Well, 60 is closest to 62, and 100 is closest to 97. If you said 60 and 90, that's okay too. We're just trying to get in the ballpark. But 60 times 100 would be the closest ballpark estimate you could make. So let's do it. Let's see, we got 6 times 1. That's 6. And then we have 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros. When we are done multiplying these two numbers together, we should get a product that's in the neighborhood, the ballpark of 6,000. So let's start copying our problem down. 62 will go on top, and 97 will go on bottom. We're going to really be careful to line up our place values. And there we go. Everything's lined up. We're going to put our multiplication symbol and our equal sign in, super important. And now, step one. The next step, not step one, step two. What do we do next? I want you to go ahead and figure out what we do next, and I'll meet you back on the other side. All right, you think you figured it out? Well, let's find out. Did you multiply 7 times 2 and get 14? You did. All right, very nice. So the 4 goes here. We'll carry the 1 to the tens place. And then the next step, because we're going to multiply the 7 times the 6 in the tens place. And I don't know what that is. So I'm going to come over here, go to 7, go to 6, and where those two meet, 42 is the product. Plus, I have to add this 1 here that I carried. So let's see, that's 42, 43. Okay. Now, next step. What are we going to do next? I'll meet you back on the other side when you think you figured out the next step. All right. Did you think the next step was to put a 0 here in the ones? I got you, didn't I? Yes. You got to put the 0 in the ones place because everything's 10 times bigger because this 9 is in the tens place. It's 90. So let's multiply. 9 times 2, right? We'll always start in the ones place and work our way left. That's 18. Ooh, we had to cross out the number we carried before and write the new one above it, just like that. And then we'll do 9 times 6. Plus I have to add what I carried. What do you think goes in these next two answer boxes here? I'll meet you back on the other side. Try to figure that out. Okay, did you say 9 times 6 is 54 plus 1 is 55? 55. I hope so. That's the correct answer. All right, what's our final step? Go ahead and complete the final step, and let's see if you're correct. I'll meet you back on the other side. Okay, did you say the final step was to add these two answer lines together? Did you get 4 plus 0 is 4? 3 plus 8 is 11. Ooh, we got to carry the 1. 1 plus 4 plus 5, that's 10. Carry the 1 again. And then 1 plus 5 is 6. Did you get 6,014 as your final product? And is 6,014 in the ballpark of 6,000? I'd say it is. It's about as close as we've come all day. So today we learned to use a traditional method to multiply 2-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. And in step 1, we estimate the product. And then in step 2, we multiply the digit in the ones place in the bottom number by each digit in the top number beginning in the ones place and moving left. And in step 3, we kind of repeat the process, only with the tens place. We multiply the digit in the tens place in the bottom number by each digit in the top number beginning with the ones place and moving left. And then in step 4, we add together our two answer lines. And in step 5, we compare our product to the estimate to make sure we're in the right ballpark. Let's get